Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Wellness Wednesday. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Ingrid and I, we have these calls every week, every Wednesday, and we're always joined by a special guest. So today, we're super excited to have our friend Grace on and share her story, focusing on holistic health and just gut health and everything that comes along with that. And so I'll start by sharing my story, which for me, my healing journey definitely started a while ago when I first learned about veganism and whole plant-based foods and just the power that plants have on what they can do for not only transforming our health, but like reversing and preventing certain diseases. And at that time, I was in a super critical moment of my health, one of my very first rock bottoms, where I was just asking the doctors what the heck's going on with me. I had all these different symptoms and pains, and my body just simply was not working optimally. And I had a very physical job at the time, so I had to figure it out fast so that I could continue working. And so once I learned from a doctor all about whole foods plant-based, it was like a light bulb moment where I realized I have the power. It just depends on what I put into my body. And so I began my journey over 6 years ago now, that I've been vegan, but it's been very up and down with whole foods plant-based, junk food, veganism. And it definitely doesn't mean you are healthy. And I had no idea about gut health this whole time. And so I found myself, it was in March 2020, when everything in the world kind of got turned on its head. The stresses started coming back, my anxiety, my depression started coming back full force, and I lost my job, I lost access to gyms, and so it felt like my entire life was just like put on hold and it was out of my control. And so I started experiencing new symptoms, old symptoms of things were coming up, and I found myself right back at the doctor's. So I got some more blood testing done, and that is when I was diagnosed with two autoimmune diseases, celiac and Hashimoto's. And I realized how what I was doing was not working. And so I really had to just look at everything I was eating, look at everything I was doing, and completely transform again. And I just went back to what I had learned about whole foods plant-based, and I got rid of all the processed foods. I went all organic. I got a juicer, and I started juicing every single morning. I was doing high raw foods, all whole foods, and I started getting different supplements from all these different, sustainable, ethical, cruelty-free sources. So with all of that, plus the produce for juicing and big salads and smoothie bowls, it was definitely quite expensive and it was quite time consuming. And I was doing this for about a year consistently, and unfortunately was kind of getting nowhere. It felt like I was just treading water, barely keeping my head above, and nothing in my mental health or my physical health was really seeing much of an improvement. And it was around this time last year, a couple months earlier in the year last year, that I was reached out on Instagram by Ingrid, who at the time we were complete strangers, and I am now forever grateful for her for having the courage to start this conversation that, it led us to where we are today. And she pretty much just asked me, how I was doing and what I was doing for work, because we were in the midst of the pandemic. Everyone's life was kind of hectic and crazy at the time, and it was just so good to have connection. And even though it was online, it was like so needed at the time. I lost all of my friends from where I was living at the time. It was just like the divide was so clear that everyone just kind of stayed inside and did their own thing. And so when she reached out to me, I was so grateful. My answers were, I'm not doing that good and I'm not really doing anything for work. So she presented me this incredible opportunity that kind of checked all of the boxes of what I was really searching for at the time. And I said yes to something that we call an ultimate lifestyle transformation. And it focuses on gut health. And that is when my eyes opened up to that gut-brain connection. My eyes were opened up to glyphosate and what that is and what that does to not only our gut health, but everything else, because I realized that everything is kind of connected and stems out from how our gut health is doing, how our gut microbiome is. And that is when I immediately said yes. It was another one of those light bulb moments for me where it was the answer that I was calling in. And along with the program and these amazing foods that we will share a little bit later came this incredible community of people where everyone on the call, I wouldn't have known any of these people. And now we are like family. And so along with, getting the glyphosate out with our gut repair and really flooding our body with the alkaline green juice and just everything that comes in this program, having that support system with the community of like-minded people that was so needed at the time, it really helped me with my mental health. And I started to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I started to have control over my anxiety. I started to gain, control over my depression. Of course, we're all human. And so things happen in our life that are, not optimal, but it's how long I stayed down and how quickly I can get myself back up that has really changed, along with all of the different things that I was going to the doctor for. They just started kind of melting away. I felt this like weight taken off of my shoulders. The brain fog was gone. My mood started stabilizing. I have had like my hormones balance, and just pretty much everything in my life that I went into this for, I started being able to check them all off. And I've been on this lifestyle for just over a year now, and there's no turning back. This is everything to me, the community, the foods, the support. And so I'm forever grateful for Ingrid. Thank you so much for reaching out. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear her story and to hear Grace's story. So I will pass the mic on to Ingrid. And yes, thank you guys.
Oh, thank you so much, Sam. It's always just so amazing to hear your story again. I mean, I was kind of there. I got to witness some of it, through the phone, but it was really amazing to be able to witness that and see that and just see, how much you've changed over the past year too. It's really amazing to see, how much change this really makes in people's lives and how different it is for every person. So my story, I guess my health journey kind of begins, when I was about 10 years old. Was when my health journey really began. So at 10 years old, I went vegetarian, which was a decision I made on my own. It wasn't for my health at this time. I did end up going vegan 5 years later as well. And that was also not about my health. It was for ethical reasons. My eyes were kind of opened to the treatment of animals and the agriculture industry and just all of that jazz. And so I made that decision, not really thinking about my health. There was even, I had a lot of people telling me that, this is going to make you really unhealthy. This is a really unhealthy option. Living in Wisconsin, it's really very meat and dairy based kind of state. So yeah, a lot of people were super against it and told me it was really unhealthy. And, I did it anyways. And, I definitely was not a healthy vegetarian. I was a very unhealthy vegetarian. My diet consisted mostly of bread and cheese. And at that point, my depression, I think, began around that point as well. Probably around when I was like 12 years old, was when I started noticing and even really remembering my depression and anxiety kind of starting to creep on. And then at the age of, it was 13, I actually went into foster care as well. And so at that point, my depression, anxiety came on just like full force, like full frontal. I was a mess. And that went on up until I ended up aging out of foster care. And, when I did go vegan at the age of 15, that did help. I did notice a change in my depression and my anxiety for a while. And, at that point I began eating healthier because I wasn't eating all of the cheese and a lot of the bread. And so, but I never really made that connection that what I was putting into my body was affecting my mood. I was like, no, that doesn't have anything to do with this. And, I had tried all kinds of depression medication. I was going to therapy like 2 times a week. Like I was a mess. I was in and out of the mental hospital. And so, things would get better and then things would get worse. It was really high highs and really low lows. And, that just continued up until, it was 20 years old, and that was when the pandemic happened. And so that was a really another significant kind of low for me. I was doing well, I was working full time. I had finally made some friends outside of work that I was really excited about, and that kind of just all got shut down. My husband and I actually just were getting ready to move out of the country as well. And so, everything was just shut down, and, I shut down as well, like completely. I was devastated. I mean, I was scared. I didn't really know what was going to happen. Especially in the beginning of the pandemic, I didn't really know what was going on, where I was going to end up. I had to move back in with my parents, with my husband. It was a mess. And so, yeah, I just got super depressed again, and my anxiety came on full force. And it felt similar to when I first went into foster care. So it was almost kind of traumatic too, kind of having to relive through those really intense emotions and really intense fears and, yeah, just feelings. And so, yeah, I mean, during the pandemic, I was super isolated, of course. I think everybody was. I didn't have any kind of online community. And so I just got super depressed. I was in bed every day. There were a couple days, like there's sometimes weeks where I wouldn't get out of bed, and, I just wasn't doing anything. I'd get up to eat, go to the bathroom. My self-care had gone out the window. It was bad. And that time that went on for quite a few months, and we were still trying to figure out a way to get out of the country, try and navigate through the pandemic. And at that point, one of my beautiful friends came to me, who we were actually considering moving to Belize with, or she was going to be moving to Belize at the same time that we were. And we were going to be part of this community and everything. And, I started checking out her Instagram, and just seeing what she was all about, seeing about who these people were that we were going to be meeting in Belize, because it was super exciting to the thought of getting out of Wisconsin and being somewhere beautiful. And yeah, but I checked out her page, and she was vegan like I was. And yeah, but she was like thriving. Like she was like living her best life. Her name is Alice. And I was just so inspired by her. And, she was talking about some of the struggles that she'd been through. She was very relatable, very vulnerable, very open person. And I really related to that. And I really kind of saw myself in her a little bit, and kind of wanted to be that more healed version, I guess. And she kind of opened my eyes to the fact that your diet and lifestyle are directly correlated to your mental health. And, I don't know, like I never really thought about it, but it just kind of like flipped a switch for me. And she started telling me about gut health and, what's been able to transform her mental health and how low she went to from where she is now. And it was just really inspiring. So she told me about the superfoods, the ultimate lifestyle transformation that Samantha was talking about. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going to try it. So I had a crazy order. I got the ULT, I got a bunch of other stuff. I was super excited. And, I was a little resistant at first, but after her telling me about it and about gut health, it just made total sense. So yeah, I ordered everything I could and I tried my first ultimate lifestyle transformation, and it was amazing. I was so excited to just try something different. And yeah, it was incredible. I think it was like day 3 or 4 that I woke up in the morning, and I felt noticeably better. And I was like, why do I feel like this? Like it's only like I'm day 3. Is this like what happened? Like, is this the superfoods, these foods that I'm taking? I didn't really believe it almost. But it was amazing. I felt like the brain fog had like lifted, and I just felt like almost like lighter and like more. I guess I just felt like a person again, like a living, breathing human being. Because I guess I hadn't felt like that for a while. And it was just amazing. Over the course of that 30 days that I did the ultimate lifestyle transformation, I noticed so many changes. My skin cleared up, which I didn't think it was going to do. I lost a bunch of weight, which wasn't a goal. I became a lot more active. A bunch of routines came into my life that I felt like I was calling in, but never had the energy or the motivation to do. So I started doing yoga. It was hard to keep me. I didn't want to stay in bed. It was hard to go to bed. I had so much energy, and just like, I just felt alive again. It was incredible. And, it was just amazing how much changed for me. I could talk about it for like 10 years. But I have had experiences as well where I have stopped taking these products. Over this last winter, I went through another really bad bout of depression for no good reason. I stopped taking these products. Now upon reflection, I think it was self-sabotage. And, I noticed that difference. It wasn't back to any sort of depression or anxiety that I had those 2 really bad experiences with, but it was definitely noticeable. And now that I am back on my superfoods again, I feel like a living, breathing human again. I feel amazing. And it's so remarkable what happens and what all changes when you begin to incorporate gut health, and you begin to release glyphosate from your system and do a parasite cleanse. It's just so amazing what happens when you just incorporate just true living high vibrational foods too. So I'm so excited to hear Grace's story as well. And then after that, we're going to go into talking about a little bit about these superfoods that we've all incorporated into our lifestyle. So with that, Grace, I'm going to pass it over to you. Can't wait to hear your story.
Oh my goodness. I love hearing people's stories because it just shows me and reminds me like the things that we all kind of as human beings can relate to. Just like we've all experienced suffering before, and we all have these different like pain points, and seeing how this has fit into everyone's lifestyle in a way that has like met them right where they're at and gave them everything that they needed and just gave them like new opportunities, like a new life, really. Like it's really humbling to me, and I just feel incredibly blessed that not only like have we found each other, but that this like found us. And I think that's why our stories are so powerful. So thank you, Sam and Ingrid, and just anyone who's listening, like Dan and Rich, and anyone who's going to listen later. I do relate to so many things of what you guys were talking about. And it's just, we all have experienced trauma, I think, and we all are affected by the food system in one way or another. And how that shows up for each of us is going to be unique. But I think none of us can like, some of the systems that we just are a part of, just growing up in this world, you can't escape it. And so, I remember just being like 5 years old, having like really bad digestion. My tummy always hurt. It was like so painful to go to the bathroom. I remember my family, like my mom would like have to give me enemas, and I was so traumatized. And they didn't know why. No one knew why, very similarly, just in and out of the doctor's office. And I say I was like a really great patient because I was like best friends with my doctor, and I loved her and I really trusted her. And I know that she was genuinely like giving me her best recommendations when I was coming in there with migraines. And, the older I got, very painful hormonal cycles, chronic acne, like migraines. I was chronically dehydrated for like, and they didn't even think to ask. It's like, hey, are you drinking water? Like, no, I'm addicted to Coke. But no one thought to ask. And just so many things in that, the mental health as well. I mean, again, the trauma that I experienced, it made me suicidal from a very young age because I just did not see a way out of it. And so I think just growing up on fast food and growing up on like frozen dinners, which, to my family, that's such a relief because they're busy, and just pop it in the microwave. And it's like, and people wonder like, okay, why was I suffering? And it's just, we like to say the quality of the food you eat is the quality of life that you live. And, so I was just doing everything. I was prescribed birth control super young, inhalers for my migraines, Vicodins, for my painful cramps. It was all just like treating the surface level. It's like, okay, let's just treat the symptom. And none of that ever really gave me a good quality of life. And really, I was like deteriorating from such a young age that by time I was in my 20s, I was like chronically burnt out. Like I had chronic fatigue, it was adrenal fatigue by that point. I just was like, I was addicted to coffee to get by. And so I just had burned my nervous system. I had burned out my adrenal system, and my gut was just completely destroyed from the food and the stress, of life. And so even if our symptoms are different than your symptoms, I think we can all relate to like stress. We can all relate to not having access to quality food and like the difference that it makes in our lives. And we all have those things that affect us personally. And so really, I remember being in like my mid 20s. I was just like inflamed. I was in pain. just my quality of life was so low. And I just remember like I had just surrendered to this lower quality of life. And I was just like, Grace, like this is just your life and you are in chronic pain and you cannot escape it. And so you just need to like suck it up, basically. Like this is just your life. And so you can't be a victim, just accept it. So I kind of discovered a holistic path through a friend of mine who had a wellness store, baby home and wellness. And so I started learning about essential oils and probiotics and chiropractic adjustments and how that helps you. And so I started my journey, and I just like it just like that's the thing, we find all the pieces, right? And sometimes it's like, how do you bring them together to like really give you that life-changing difference, right? Because you hear us, we're talking about this quality of life that we have now, and you're like, okay, but how do I get that? And it's like, for so many, we're doing all the right things, but it's just like, what is that missing piece? And so it wasn't until, I met our friend Allison, and I actually met her after I had moved to LA. So I was born in Northern California. I moved to LA to pursue fashion, and I was working in the A-list industry, red carpet, and it was so fun. But again, and I was vegan at that point. But what is a vegan? I was eating the Beyond Burger from Carl's Jr. as if like I'm vegan. Like, how is that helpful? But I'm like, no, it's a vegan. So I think learning, when you know better, you do better. So there's certain pieces of information that come to us in our journey, and then it's about bringing them together. So when I met Allison, really, I met Allison and Jared and Taz, and at the time we were just sitting next to each other at a restaurant in LA. And I say this is pre-COVID, where you like made friends when you went out. So everyone was so friendly and so nice, and we just started sharing food and just talking. And they shared Purium with me because they were in town for a Purium event. And I was like, that's cute for you guys. Like, love that for you. I had been a part of multiple network marketing companies and had failed at them. The first one, someone kind of like conned me into like a huge inventory package and then never taught me how to like work the business. So I just was like $5,000 in debt. And then the second one, I had ups and downs with the person that brought me in, and then they quit. So I was like, that's good for you guys. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm vegan. I'm doing my thing. But I watched Allison's journey because we stayed in touch, and I saw her transforming before my eyes, and the things that she was struggling with, like chronic acne and insomnia and mental health. I just saw her. Like, I saw myself in her. When I saw her just changing her life, I was like, okay, there's something to this. And I kept complaining on my post, like, oh yeah, up again with insomnia, like F my life or whatever. Allison's like, hey, I have something that can help you. So, there's always like angels trying to help us. It's just, we have to be ready. And I would hope that we could all learn to like be ready before we're at a rock bottom, because it took me being in a rock bottom as well to say yes. And that's the one thing I wish for everyone. It's like, if you're hearing this and you're not at a rock bottom, like just say yes anyway, because you don't need to like lose your whole health and lose like be in the dark night of the soul in order to try something new. So I was also in the pandemic. It was the summertime. I had been out of a job for months. I had no unemployment coming in. I was at my lowest, and I had gained like a bunch of weight. I had just been put on like a new birth control, and it was a mess. I was like, I was like, who am I? Like, why am I doing this? So thankfully, Allison, was like, Grace, like, it's time. And I was like, I think you're right. So even though I had no income and no sane reason to like invest in myself, it was the best thing I ever did. And truly, abundance like comes into your life when you invest in yourself. Like, the universe is like, oh yes, I can trust them. And so as soon as I said yes, it's like so much opened up for me. And health wise, it was kind of like Samantha said, every single issue that I was having, my autoimmune conditions, my skin conditions, my insomnia, the weight, the hormone imbalances, the mental health, just the visceral like trauma I was storing in my body, it was all just being released. And it was happening in such an organic way and such a natural way that it wasn't like a shock to the system. it was just so graceful and so easeful. And I just remember day one, because day one, you're like figuring it out. You're like, okay, I'm going to get these 2 juices in. What is this? You're figuring out your routine. And I felt it day one. I was like, oh my gosh, like this energy that I have is like, it's like different. It's like nothing like coffee. It's like, it's different. And then it just got better and better and better. And I actually ended up doing a 90-day immersion. So I did the ULT multiple months in a row because the quality of life that it gave me, I just didn't want to lose that quality of life. And I wanted to go deeper because as an energy practitioner, when I left the fashion industry, I went into energy work and got certified as a Reiki master. And what I started to realize is like this healing from within, it's a holistic partnership of all aspects of our life. And what this transformation does for you that you don't realize food gives you is it does give you the energy healing as well. It does give you the spiritual healing as well, because when your body is alkaline and when your body is balanced, your spirit can transcend and they work holistically. So it's a domino effect. When you can do one good thing, it truly becomes a domino effect of so many other things. That's what Ingrid said. It's like all of a sudden, these new modalities were waking up for her and she was able to sustain them and be consistent with them. And that is absolutely what it gave me as well. I went from just being severely depressed and feeling super lost, like I had lost my purpose and didn't know like what was going to happen, to like all of a sudden I'm alive again, and I have a quality of life in my body that I never had all my life. And I think just how it really opened up just the deeper spiritual work and the path that opened up for me there is it's guided me now to like my bigger purpose. And that is something that is so priceless, like a transformation, a couple $100, you think, oh, that's too much, but it's like actually so priceless because what it does for your body, your mind, your spirit, finding this community has been like so life-changing for me, because at that time, I had been involved in church and then I left the church. I had like a marriage end. I lost everyone, in my friend group when I left my abusive ex. And so it's like, I was starting over as well. So to have a community, the community is medicine. It opens you back up to trust. And that's priceless again. So just thank you guys so much for letting me share some snippets of my story. I hope that it just inspires you, whoever's listening. So now we can kind of break down, okay, how does this work and what are you guys even talking about? Don't worry, we're going to tell you all about it.
Wow. Thank you, Grace, for coming on, really, because I've definitely not heard all of your story, I'm realizing. So that was just so beautiful to hear it all at once. So yeah, we will definitely show you. I'm going to share my screen so you can see what are we even talking about. So first, just what is transformation? We work with Purium, like Grace was saying, and they're the transformation company, which is a permanent lasting change. And so this is not just, a quick fix. You don't just do 30 days or even 90 days and then go back to whatever you were doing before. This is really giving you the tools to sustain yourself and, moving forward. It's a lifestyle. And so with that, let me move this up so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So yeah, it's the ultimate lifestyle transformation. It comes with this progress tracker, and that way you can really see, I always tell people, take your before pictures, because even if you don't see it in the mirror every day, when you see the after, like I was blown away. Even just my skin and my face, my eyes, like every little part of you like starts to really become alive. And so with that, there are 5 foods. So the first one that comes with this is the Super Amino 23. These are probably, it's hard to have a favorite, but I definitely know that without these in my daily routine, because I have unfortunately ran out of my foods before, the mental clarity that this comes with, or that this provides, is just incredible. The Super Amino 23 is called that because within 23 minutes, this absorbs into your bloodstream. These are pre-digested amino acids. It's a pre and probiotic with humic and fulvic acid. So it's really doing, this is not, I'm like getting confused, but this is the amino acids. So it's pre-digested amino acids. And so that is like the building blocks to protein. But unlike dietary protein, when you eat that and you have to digest it and it has to go through like your kidney and your liver, and it's really doing a lot of taxing work on your organs, and it's anywhere from like 30 to 40% bioavailable. This is 99% bioavailable, so it's completely utilized by your body and it doesn't tax any of your organs. And it is just really good for not only building muscle, burning fat, and tightening your skin, but the mental side of it, for me, these are 100% a daily non-negotiable. They're actually made for comatose patients by a doctor, so they're still used in hospital settings to keep people who are unable to move their body from losing all of their muscle. And so that is one of the first ones for helping build. And then the power shake, this is our green juice. This is every day I start my day with this green juice, and we call it a green juice, even though for a lot of people it seems like kind of like it's just a powder you put in water. And how is that, compared to a juice that you would make at home? So for me, like I said, I had bought in a juicer and I was doing that every single morning, and it was all organic. It was the best, recipes I could find that were very balanced, high in like the dark leafy greens and herbs, and it was good. Like I was able to make it taste good, but I wasn't really feeling the effects that I was supposed to. And a lot of that comes with the fact that the food at the grocery store is picked pre-ripe. It's not really living food by the time we get it and utilize it in our own kitchen. But also my gut health was so destroyed that I wasn't able to actually properly absorb. So the fact that this is paired with the best gut health on the planet so that you can then absorb it, this is 98% living enzymes. They dehydrate it on site of the farm within, I think, 45 to 90 minutes. So it preserves 98% living enzymes. That's beyond anything that you can get anywhere else. It's like you're picking it right off the bush and eating it. And the equivalent to 6 microgreen salads. So 5.5 tablespoons of this green juice powder, when you put it back into water, you've literally got the equivalence of 6 salads, which I don't know anyone that can eat 6 salads in a day. I mean, I was eating a pretty big salad every day, and the thought of doing more than one of those was just not going to happen for me. And so, yeah, it's really great at deep cellular nutrition. And because it's so high vibrational, it really is great for energy. I know people that have been able to completely get rid of coffee with just having this in their life. And so that is also a non-negotiable for me. I definitely can tell a difference when I don't have my power shake in the morning. And then I will pass it to you, Grace, for the next foods.
Yay, amazing. My screen is just a little bit delayed, so you have to let me know which one we're on. Is it, I see it kind of coming up slowly.
Okay, so the next one should be apothecary.
Okay, yeah. Apothecary is one of the loves of my life. It is honestly like, this is something I saw Allison talking about, and I was like, what is this magical potion you are drinking? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what is this science going on? Because her skin was glowing. She was like saying it gives you the best night's sleep. I'm like, okay, like explain. And so really what I love about everything in this line, everything in Purium, is it's whole food based. So nature's medicine, right? And apothecary is 100% tart cherries, and tart cherries are known as the world's most nutrient dense fruit. And so you're just getting so many benefits. Everything is superfood based. So you're getting like the super nutrients from these ingredients. And so tart cherries are really specific in how they help the body. Really, it has like hundreds of benefits. So if you just had one, it would be amazing. But what it does for you is actually hundreds of things. So I struggled with insomnia, horrible insomnia. And this And so my circadian rhythm was like all off. It was like my body was just used to getting up at a certain time, like every time, same time every night. And so what this does is it actually balances your circadian rhythm, and it actually helps your body produce natural melatonin. Because before I was like addicted to like the synthetic melatonin tablets, which was really like making the problem worse. And so getting a natural source of something that helps your body produce that melatonin so that your sleep is hitting REM, you're getting that deep quality of sleep. You know, I used to need like literally like 10, 12 hours of sleep a night, and I still didn't really feel rested. That's because I wasn't getting quality sleep. So this is quality sleep in a bottle, 10 times better than anything synthetic. Trust me, I've taken prescription like sleeping aids, and I've taken like the melatonin, and nothing gave me the quality of sleep that Apothecary did just in one night. And not only that, but because it's so high in antioxidants, so not only is it cleansing your skin, it's cleansing your blood, it's cleansing your cells. So just preventatively, you're really preventing a lot of illness that way. It's been linked to supporting cancer as well. So it's literally like giving you healthy cells that like duplicate in a healthy way. So that's really powerful to me. And because of that, it is also supporting inflammation, and it's an all natural pain reliever. Like I said, I was like prescribed Vicodin to kind of deal with my pain management. And now if I ever have any ache or pain, just a little bit extra Apothecary, and I swear it's like everything just melts away. And this is also my anti-aging hack. So, I'm going to be 33 this year, and people look at me and they're like, there's no way like you're going to be in like 33. They think I'm like 10 years younger. And I'm like, I swear, like it's like the Apothecary is like anti-aging. It really does help the skin produce collagen as well. And it's cleansing the skin. So this is what like cured me, I would say, of my horrible acne that I had all my life, because I was trying to cleanse externally, and really I was like burning my skin with the chemicals, and little did I know that something like this could just really treat it from the inside out. So Apothecary, love of my life. Every night I take it, and it just washes my sins away, no matter what snuck in the day or it's like, nope, Apothecary's got me. And I make a mocktail every night, and I love it way more than I ever enjoyed alcohol. And so it's like, this is where it's at. This is liquid gold. So that is our Apothecary. Again, while Samantha shifts the slides, this is your fruits. So it's like, I love having that peace of mind that when I have these products, I'm just getting in my fruits, my vegetables, my protein, and I don't need to like necessarily worry, am I getting the best quality like in my grocery store of the fruits and vegetables? This is giving me that. So it just like kind of creates that safety in the body as well. And then I think we're going to move on to the Biomedic, which this is what saved my life. This is what saved my life, because I knew the importance of gut health. And so I was already on probiotics. I was already taking multiple supplements to help me. None of them did. And I tried everything, and I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Oh, you need the refrigerated kind. Oh, you need a certain amount of the billions of strands, and you need all the different strands. Like I did every single line. I did every single type of probiotic. None of them ever did for me what Biomedic did for me. And Biomedic is the only probiotic of its kind on the market. Not only is it a pre and probiotic, but it has fulvic and humic acid. It has a blend of Ayurvedic herbs in it that actually bind to GMOs and toxins that are in the body, and it pulls it out. So a huge part of this program is that we need to detox daily, because environmental toxins and just what we have in the quality of our food, and even in the soil, like all these things are interconnected. And so this is the missing piece, is this right here. So when we can detoxify gently every single day, that is going to change your life. And so what Biomedic does, it's able to detox up to 76% in the first 6 weeks of you doing this. And so that's why, we saw such a dramatic shift in those first 30 days, because when you're taking 4 Biomedic a day, and you're flushing everything out, and you're rebuilding the gut, and then the gut is connecting to your brain and to your heart and to your organs, you come alive in a brand new way. And so I think this also is so life-changing because this supports your body to be able to absorb all the nutrition. So, people can be juicing and raw, fruitarian and this, and that. But if your body cannot absorb it, you're out of luck. And it's no one's fault. It's the system's fault, So Purium saw this as a problem and they made the solution. And so this biomedic is actually certified by the Detox Society. It has the gold seal of approval that it, removes glyphosate, that it supports the gut, and gut health is life. So, forget any other probiotic you've ever used. You haven't experienced true health until you've used the biomedic. So these are two of my favorite products. I cannot live without them.
Yes, biomedic and apothecary, everything that comes in this ultimate lifestyle transformation is just absolutely incredible. Is something that you take for only 10 days out of the 30 days. And typically I take mine in the last 10 days of my ultimate lifestyle transformation. There's a couple different schedules that you can choose from to kind of fit your lifestyle. But I typically do it in the last 10 days. And it's after you're kind of, during the ultimate lifestyle transformation, you're kind of prepping your body to be able to release these parasites, because, parasites, I've learned, can come from a multitude of different things. Even you can find parasites in drinking water if you don't wash your fruit well enough. So they're not just coming from fish or crustaceans or anything like that. They're coming from a multitude of different sources. And so it's really important to cleanse our body of parasites every so often, to be able to not only fully absorb our nutrients, but to honestly get rid of some of those cravings. So when I first detoxed parasites with the ultimate lifestyle transformation, I noticed most of my cravings for, sweets, anything like that, were gone after I did the parasite cleanse, which was definitely not. So a lot of times those super crazy cravings that we get, like I would get like hangry and like have these terrible cravings, especially around my cycle. It doesn't really happen to me anymore, which is kind of awesome. And, so yeah, it removes parasites. This helps to release some of the toxins that Grace was talking about with the biomedics. It's very gentle as well. I have done other parasite cleanses where you're running to the bathroom every 10 minutes, and those are brutal. Those are horrible. This doesn't do anything like that. It's super, super gentle. And like I said, it helps with mood stabilities as well, because sometimes those parasites can be controlling some of our moods. And like I said, it helps to curb cravings. So with that, I think the next one is going to be the schedules. It's pretty delayed. So is it the schedules that's up next, Sam? Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. The 3 schedules.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, there's 3 different schedules that you can actually choose for the ultimate lifestyle transformation, which is awesome. There's an intermittent fasting schedule. There's a 30-day simplified schedule, and then there's an accelerated schedule, which I'm not going to get too deep into the schedules, but it's really nice because you can kind of pick what is going to work best with your schedule that you already have in your life. And if you do intermittent fasting, there's something that can work in with that as well. So with that, I'm going to go to the next slide, if we can get it to work.
It should be
okay. And so the transformation kits, yeah. So there's a few different ultimate lifestyle transformations you can get, actually. So when I first came into this, there was only the simple ultimate lifestyle transformation, which it comes with all of the different foods that we just talked about. And also they now come with a stainless steel shaker bottle because the company has gone plastic free as of this year. There's one more product, the super aminos, that we need to get plastic free. But otherwise, I think it's like we're up to like 70 products now that the company has total. They're all plastic free except for the super aminos. And so there's also the ultimate lifestyle transformation plus immune, which you're incorporating zinc aid into there, which is just also to just boost the immune system. This is something that I believe they brought out during the pandemic when people were really, especially then, worried about their immune system. So this is just a really great way to just give your immune system that extra boost. And the other one is going to be the ultimate lifestyle transformation plus performance. So this is if you go to the gym a lot, you don't really want to slow down on any of that, and you want to continue to push yourself in the gym, push yourself athletically. It's going to be the ultimate lifestyle transformation. And then there's going to be also a few other products added, which is going to be the super xanthan, which is really amazing for the body. It's actually, I've used it as a natural sunscreen as well when I was living in Belize, but it's really good for muscle recovery. And then there's going to be the Can't Beat This, which is a really amazing drink. It's delicious as well. I've had that more than a few times, and it's really amazing. That has helped me with my caffeine addiction a lot. It just kind of gives you that natural boost of caffeine sourced from beets, which is awesome, all natural living foods. And so it's a good pre-workout if you feel any tiredness or anything before or after you go to the gym. And then there's also Aloe Digest, which helps with digestion, Cocoa Hydrate, which is super hydrating, which is amazing, and it's delicious. And then we've got the MVP Sport too. I almost forgot about that. So that is just going to be some extra protein to add in the gym, and there's a couple different flavors you can choose with that, and they're all delicious, of course. And then the next slide. Oh, it's lagging. I'm so sorry. I wish I had these memorized. Okay, so thank you for joining. I'm so grateful to everyone that has jumped on the call, even if you're just watching the replay. Super grateful that you took the time out of your day to come join us here and hear about our stories. And, it's been a really beautiful thing to have this call every week and be able to have special guests like Grace. It's so amazing to be able to hear our community stories, and even just to have this really safe space and this platform to be able to share so vulnerably and openly, even if it just helps one person or somebody hears our stories. It makes it all worth it. And with that, if anybody has any closing words at all, Sam, maybe I'll pass it over to you.
Yes, thank you. I do apologize for the lag on the slides, but thank you, Grace and Ingrid, for joining on this call. It was so good to hear both of your stories. And to anyone who has tuned in or is watching the replay, definitely get back to whoever has sent this to you, because first off, they care about you and they just want what's best for you. We all have had that angel come into our life, and some of us have said yes right away. Some of us, it's taken a little bit of time, but the caring is what's truly unbeatable. And this community of support is here for you, for anyone who needs that in their life. And honestly, there's nothing you can really lose. We do have a 60-day money back guarantee. The person who has invited you has a gift card to save you either $50 off 75 or more, or with these kits, it's over $100 of savings. So I know, for me and for Grace, who were not working at the time, that was such a blessing to be able to save that amount of money on our health, and to be able to take that into our life and, say yes to that. And so, yeah, get back with who has joined you, and there is a 60-day money back guarantee. So you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, truly. And Grace, if there's any final words, I will pass it to you.
Just thank you guys so much for having me on, and just anyone who is watching, I always like to say, it's a divine appointment that this found you. This really does not happen by accident. So it just means that there is a reason behind it. And when I first heard about this and someone shared this with me, it actually took me over a year before I said yes. And in that year, all that happened was I just declined, so it wasn't really serving me to say no at that time. So that's why I like to say, you don't have to hit your rock bottom, or you don't have to be in that dark moment to try something new. So, you have such an amazing community here who is going to support you every step of the way. And this is just going to meet you right where you're at, and just kind of help you open up, those things that are in your heart that you've been wanting for yourself. This is the way to get there. Healing from within is about tapping into your own sovereignty, into your own power, and activating that. And that happens through action. It happens through saying yes and trying something new. And so do that, join us and give it a try. At the very least, you're going to serve your body in such a powerful way. So love you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Love you all.
Thank you so much, guys. Love you.